442 Dudes. Hello and welcome back to another episode of 442. We are the dudes behind 442 and he is
John.
I am Ben and we are the 442 Dudes. Caught you there. Okay. Also, right. What we caught you is that we reached 100. Well, at least 104 as of this recording.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Thank you. Sorry, budget. That's why I add on my own sound effect for now. Yeah. But stay tuned because we'll be coming with more segments. And the first segment we're going to bring you, it's called the
90 Minutes Off.
Of what? We'll tell you later.
Hello everyone, so this is 90 Minutes Off, and for this week's episode we'll be focusing on all the matches that took place in the English Premier League over the weekend. Alright, so let's kickstart things going back. Yeah. So let's start off with Crystal Palace versus West Ham. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, straight away, I just want to say, between the two managers, the two old fellas there, 1,000 over games of Premier League between them, with, what's his name? David Moyes being about more, 600 plus, if I remember correctly. Okay. And Roy himself, 300
Rocker.
plus. Yeah, Rock. What is it?
Rocker.
When I combine them. But for that 4-3, I mean, say what you have to say, but Roy Hodgson did change Crystal Palace.
Oh, that's right.
I was a bit of a skeptic, you know, because
Why so?
I thought that, you know, at the start of the episode of the season, rather, I've said that Patrick Vieira was a good fit.
Okay.
I thought he did something good for Crystal Palace. Unfortunately, you know, results didn't show. He got fired, and then this old fella came in, and you know, things just changed, and nobody could expect that. And for the game, I mean, the home ground just showed how much they had faith in this old man, and in the players especially. And the players themselves were also showing the same passion, and most importantly, they believe in his system. So I thought, you know, good match throughout, even from West Ham side. I thought it was a good match. You know, it's neck to neck. But at the end, Crystal Palace edged it out.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham are finally showing the form that they did last season. Last season they were going to go in for the Europa places and stuff. And this season, obviously, they're in Europa League. So I'm just wondering whether their participation in the Europa League this season actually affected their Premier League performances.
In terms of fitness and all that.
It seems so, right? But I don't know. It's right now. It seems as if they're starting to come to form again. So I mean, kudos to them. But unfortunately, as you mentioned already, Crystal Palace somehow was just revitalized, right? When Roy came on. But the thing is, Roy is just going to be there until the end of the season, right? Yeah. So who do you think is going to be a good replacement for him?
That's the thing, you know. I have no idea. But I think they may think about it. We're not sure. Okay. I don't know if there's an official source yet, but they may. I mean, if I'm them, I would consider giving him one more season. You know, just convince.
Really?
Yeah, convince the old guy.
He's almost 70, but
almost. But you know, I mean, look at that. The result show.
Okay.
So I'm going in that direction where.
All right.
You know, he can. For one more season.
Fair enough. Okay, let's move on. So Brighton versus Wolves. 6-0 win for Brighton. Goodness. Crushing of the Wolves. Oh my goodness. Wow. So
bring away.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brighton is just they just transform. I mean, they have been a work in progress, right? We talk about how clubs are not run properly, but I think Brighton are a club that will actually run very, very well.
Yeah, they are.
Right. You know, a lot of them wrote them off this season. Why? Because they sold off the best players, right? Maupay left. Yeah. Some of the other players left. Connolly left. Bissouma was sold to Spurs. Shane Duffy left. Cucurella went to Chelsea. In midway through, Trossard went to Arsenal in January. Mwapu retired halfway at the start of the season.
And then Graham Potter left.
So they brought in a lot of players, young players, in fact. Right? They brought in Estupinan. They brought in Billy Gilmore. I know you want to say something.
Yeah.
All right. Enciso, Buonate, both 18. Contrary to popular belief, right, Mitoma was not signed this season. He was signed the previous season, but he was sent out on loan.
And then came back.
He came back. Okay. So he's so in a way, I'll put him as a classy and a player that was promoted, right? But I don't know. It's just the balance of the team, despite the change in manager, we thought Roberto Di Zerbi, the first time in the Premier League, he was probably going to struggle, but no. It's amazing. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening behind the scenes, but whatever's happening is definitely whatever they're doing is definitely the correct method. So I think we need to find out what they're doing. But more importantly, I want to highlight the Brighton scouting department.
Oh yeah.
You know, if there is a award for, I think we should create an award for the best scouting department. Right. Like, for example, the best signing of the season. That player's team should received the best scouting award. That's
okay.
what I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you.
Got to give big ups to the
Exactly,
scout as well.
exactly. I mean, who would have thought that players like Mitoma would become, a household name? Caicedo also now, becoming very popular. So I don't know. What do you think about the Wolves?
I think Brighton versus Wolves. I mean, looking at Wolves, it's not that they have on paper they have a good team.
Yep.
On the team sheet they have good team. But unfortunately, I think they were just outclassed by Brighton. And if anything, it's the whole thing. I don't know. We've been saying it all season. This season is about changing here and there, managers here and there. And I think Roberto Di Cerbi, if that's how I say it, is the best signing. I think.
So the manager is the best signing.
Yeah, I think the manager is the best signing.
Interesting.
I think ever since he took over, there were a lot of pressure on him because they were saying that Potter took Brighton to great heights. Can this guy replicate it? As you said it very aptly, that he didn't have any EPL experience.
Yep.
But just like that, I think he's doing quite well. Brighton is doing what we would never thought they'd be doing.
Okay.
Thrashing teams as well. I mean, 6-0 is something that maybe some top teams can't even do it.
Yep.
I'm just saying. So, I think kudos to the team. But going back to Wolves, again, they have good players on paper. But I think this is where they're defeated by Brighton, who is just more gelled in all compartments, whether it's the front, the mid, the back, and even the goalkeeper.
Yep.
I think they're all doing fine. Wolves, on the other hand, they're a little bit more on the individual side of things. That's just what I feel.
So they're more individuals than the team.
That's how I saw it.
Okay.
That's how I saw it. And that's why 6-0.
Okay. So let's quickly move on. I think there's a lot of things
there
to
is
speak
a lot.
about. Okay, so quickly move on to Brentford Forest. Forest obviously lost against Brentford. You know a game is boring when the highlights, right? The highlights actually only shows the goals. We're talking about extended highlights. So we're not going to talk too much about it. I just want to say one thing about Forest though, is that I think their main issue this season is they lack the mental and physical stamina to see out the game.
It's quite evident.
So even though there are a lot of players, I mean, Keylor Navas is in goal, so an experienced player, but I think this is something that Forest needs to work on for the next season. But in regards to Brentford, congratulations to Tony.
Yeah, of course.
The first Brentford player since 1938 to reach 20
really
goals in the top flight of English football. So kudos to Tony and Brentford. Right, so let's move on quickly to Man U versus Villa. I know you have something to say about this.
Yeah.
I don't know whether your friend from last episode, I don't know. So what did he mention?
Well, I mean, all he said was, again, the whole absence of this player, the star player, Maguire, star player, Maguire. While it could be seen as luckily he's not playing, but I think you have to give it to the players also. The players, again, aside from the absence of Maguire, they were playing quite good. Aston Villa were also playing quite good. Aston, they were also playing quite good. But at the end of the day, outclassed again. And I think, again, luck does play. And this is something that I feel people might not agree, but I think in football, at the end of the day, there is an element of luck.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
That we have to attribute, because a goal is a goal and a luck is a luck.
Okay.
So I think that's where Man United got.
So they were lucky against Villa. Right.
Yeah,
so were they unlucky against Brighton? Do you think?
Okay. So that one, on the other hand, which is quite recent, Brighton just got slightly a little bit more fired up.
Okay.
I think they fired up because of the 6-0. That's just what I'm saying.
Oh, couldn't it because? Was it because they wanted the revenge against United? Because United beat them on penalties, right?
You could say it's revenge, but I think in my part is United, on the other hand, has more things to be playing for.
Okay.
So therefore they're a little bit stretched out. Brighton, on the other hand,
they have nothing to playing for. They have only the Premier League.
But they have played many.
They wanted the quadruple, but they won't get any. Okay, probably they still have the FA Cup. Okay, fine.
So, Manchester derby, don't forget about that.
Yeah. I mean, League Cup, they might be ending the season on two cups, so they're still playing Man City in the FA Cup. So we'll never know. Okay.
Yeah. That's
but by the way, it was a world-class penalty by McAllister. In case you didn't know. And let's move on to Fulham versus Man City. Man City won 2-1. I don't want to talk too much about this because we've been going on and on about City. So just well done to Haaland. He's on 35 goals currently and counting. 50th goal of the campaign. So I don't know. If you guys saw our post on Facebook, we predicted that he'll probably end the season with 55 goals.
A high, for sure.
But I think it's going to be more than that. Well, kudos to City again for once again winning the league. I mean, it's getting boring, but anyway, let's move on. Bournemouth versus Leeds, 4-1 for Bournemouth. What are your thoughts?
Again, going to that, Leeds just don't. don't seem to be, again, full of energy. They just seem to be all over the place, manager after manager after manager. So I just think this is where Leeds just deserve the loss. I mean, they have to pick up their system. Yeah, that's just my thought, And if anything, Bournemouth, they took the chance well.
Now with Leeds, right? This is what I think about Leeds. I think there's too many managerial changes that's affecting the whole team's performances. So it doesn't matter what players you have. You can do the best of players. I mean, case in point, Chelsea, right? But if you don't have a system, you have so many changes, so much instability, right? Or instability for that matter.
Yeah.
Is the team's performance will definitely be affected, right? So I think this is exactly what's happening in Leeds. And for you guys who don't know, we're living under the rock. Javi Garcia was sacked.
Yeah.
And Sam Allardyce, Big Sam, is now back in the Premier League after a 2-year absence, I think, or 3-year absence to try to save Leeds from relegation. But this is what I think. I think they will still go now.
Okay.
I really think they'll still go now.
So you think Big Sam can't do the job this time?
No, he was brought in to help West Brom a few seasons back, much earlier in the season, and he also failed. He still failed. So I don't see Leeds going to. I don't think Leeds is going to survive anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I think. So, let's move on. Newcastle versus Southampton.
I mean, they're just on form all the time, on a high. I mean, despite them, conceding, but at the end of the day, I mean, well done to Newcastle. They found. We spoke about the systems earlier, and I think they found theirs. So well done to them.
And just want to congratulate Callum Wilson. He has beaten Alan Shearer's record for goals in the calendar month.
Right.
So he has scored 8 goals this calendar month. Shearer's record was 7. So who have thought that Shearer's record to be beaten? Now Shearer's record for Premier League goals might be on the line as well for Kane. Now speaking of Kane, let's move on to Liverpool versus Spurs. My God, I'm not going to talk. I keep me grounded. You start first.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, if I were to put my take on it, I'm just going to say the whole celebration by Richarlison was just ridiculous. You took so much time just to diss the fans, took so much time to remove your shirt, took so much time for that. If I am the manager, I'm going to kill him in the locker room.
Why?
Because with that whole celebration there, you are now going to add more fire to the other side, which is Liverpool. And now with all the time you're celebrating, now Liverpool's going to have that 1 minute. They're going to do some last minute tactic or whatever, but they have that time now because you were out there celebrating. So while you're there.
Well, that's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point.
That's just my take. So because of that long ass celebration, I felt that there was a chance for what's his name? Jurgen Klopp. For a moment, I forgot his name. Jurgen Klopp to come together with his team and just, chide them, just go for the goal. And that's what happened.
Of course, you don't never write Liverpool off. No, but I think that the biggest talking point for the game was, in your opinion, was the foul by Jota on Oliver Skip a red card offense?
Well, I mean, if you ask me, again, I'm not like a referee or an official, but I think it is what it is. From my naked eye, it does look like an offense. It does look like it warrants a red card.
Okay.
So, I would just say it's a red card.
Okay. Now, here's my take on the incident.
Let's go.
Number 1, it was a 50-50 challenge.
Okay.
Right? The ball is in the air.
Yeah.
You had 2 options to do it with every situation in this situation. Right? Either use your leg or use your head. Jota used his leg. Oliver Skip chose to use his head. Right? Okay. It just so happened he head-butted Jota's boot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, is that a red card worthy? No. If you're going to argue with me, I want to bring you back to Haaland. Okay,
right.
When he stamped on a Crystal Palace player earlier in the season, this was what the Dermot Gallagher said.
Okay,
he is not a foul; it's a yellow card offense because there was no intention to foul the player. It looked like Haaland was going for the ball.
Yeah.
Exactly the same situation with Jota. So why are they criticizing and complaining that Jota deserves to be sent off? And of all the media outlets out there, they are only showing the still images of the incident. They're not even showing the video
thing. Okay.
So if you look at the video, you can see that Oliver Skip head-butted his boot. Right? Good. So let's move on.
For those of you who disagree, just comment.
So Leicester Everton. This I think for Everton, they are favourites to go down for me.
Yeah.
And I think this match showed why they should be favourites to go down. Purely for the very simple reason that none of them turned up. Yes, they scored 2 goals. I think this is the first time they scored 2 goals in a long, long time. But I think even the Everton fans can feel that this is
The
probably
lack of fight. The lack of fight.
It is finally time for Everton to try and win the championship rather than
at least they can
go for the Champions League spots in the Premier League. So I don't know. What are your thoughts about the game then?
Well, I think at the end of the day, again, as we've talked about the fight, the system, this one clearly is just lack of system, and secondly, they lack the fight. We were talking about how most of the teams, you have one who's clearly more hungry. In my opinion, this is my opinion. I think these two didn't really show their hunger. I think it was lucky it was a draw. I think it was lucky that they both scored goals.
Okay.
And I could think it was because they weren't bothered about defending that well, as they should be.
Okay.
Which is why it's kind of high scoring, in my opinion. Yeah, 2-2, So I think they got to show more fight. But I do agree.
From both sides?
Yeah, from both sides. But I do agree with you, Everton is showing to be winning the championship very soon.
So you're going to put it out here right now. Everton is going to win the championship next season, right? So they're going to be Burnley's successor. Okay, you guys heard it here, right? Ben has predicted that Everton is going to win the championship.
I hope they can
next season. Not the Champions League, but the championship.
Not Champions League, by the way.
Yes.
We're not saying Champions League.
Wow, that's a big call. Anyway, who cares about Everton?
Yeah.
So anyway,
some of you might. The Toffees especially. Okay.
Well, let's move on to the last game.
Let's go.
Arsenal versus Chelsea. I know this is something that's going to be very close to your heart.
Yeah, of course.
All right. But this is what I want to mention about Chelsea. Okay, I think the players have to take responsibility over here.
Of course.
So they were second best throughout. They were losing all the first balls, the second balls. They were not communicating with one another. So the system was there. So if you looked at it, if you look at all the what they have been doing, right, the system was there. They were there, the 4-4-2. They're interchanging here and there. They were in the right positions, but they themselves, the players themselves, were losing all the first and second balls. So how can you blame the managers if the players are not performing on the pitch?
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. So if you look at Odegaard scored 2 goals. Right.
Yep.
So both of his goals were preventable. The first goal, Kovacic saw Odegaard.
Yep.
For some reason, decided to not track him and leave him open to score. Odegaard's second goal was a carbon copy of the first. This time around, instead of Kovacic, it was Sterling who was supposed to track him. Sterling was looking at him twice, but yet he never decided not to track him at the crucial moment. And Odegaard had acres of space to score both goals. Both were carbon copies. Literally Control-C, then Control-V. So, I don't know. In my opinion, there's the players that have to take responsibility here. It's not the managers. I know a lot of people are saying that managers should... whenever a team does badly, managers should get the sack.
Of course.
Right? So, Leeds is one. Chelsea now is another.
Of course, right,
But I really don't think it's the manager's fault. I really think the players themselves have to come out and say... and then take responsibility for their incompetence, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think as a Chelsea fan?
I think at the end of the day, I do agree with you. I think there are players that shouldn't wear the Chelsea shirt at all.
Okay.
They should not be bothered to come to training already. I think they should just stay at home, collect the money, and then just go to the other club when the season comes. But in my very short opinion, I think this is a season for us to crumble, and the next season is just hopefully we can do better.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that was all the matches for the weekend that took place. But right now, I think we just want to focus a little bit on the relegation candidates. So if you're going to put up on screen very shortly, some of the 5 candidates who are most likely to go down. Now, what we think is, I think Southampton is a shoe-in, right? Shoe-in to go in already. Okay. So who do you think is going to join Southampton? So you mentioned Everton, right?
I mean, Everton.
So in Ben's case, Southampton, Everton are definitely going down. So who's the last team?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of 50-50, but I think it's between Leicester and Nottingham.
Okay.
I think it's just like that.
Okay. So in my opinion, I think the 2 teams that will be joining Southampton will be Leeds.
Okay.
And it'll be between Everton and Leicester.
Okay.
So that's just my take on this. Right. And in any case, I think West Ham is going to play a very, very important role because they'll be playing Leeds, and they will also be playing. Let me just look at the fixtures list. They will also be playing Leicester. So West Ham are playing both teams. So because why I say West Ham will play a very important role is because West Ham is a team that I believe those relegation candidates think they can beat.
Okay.
So that's why I feel that West Ham will play a very crucial role. If West Ham doesn't turn up and the relegation candidates beat them, then we really do not know which West Ham is going to turn up. Whether is it the West Ham of last season or is it the West Ham of this season? So I think that's going to play a very crucial role. Why I think Forest is going to stay up is because of their good home record. Okay. And they are going to play Chelsea away, which I think they will stand a chance. They have the belief that they will stand a chance. So Forest versus Southampton is the next game. So if Forest wins Southampton, I think they'll go up. So that's why I think Forest will stay up.
Okay.
All right. So those were the relegation candidates. Please share with us what you think in the comment section, and who you think will be going down. Okay. So now this next portion, right? I just really, I think we spoke a lot about Chelsea. And how they fared against Arsenal and throughout this season, right? But I think we want to do a more in-depth analysis of Chelsea.
Okay.
Right. So let's focus on some of the possible positives.
Okay.
Of Chelsea's of Todd Boehly's management so far.
His era so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any positive from you there?
Got money.
Okay, that's one. Okay, some more.
Got money.
That's all.
That's all.
That's one.
That's one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that
The only thing. If you watch all his interviews, you watch all his conferences, you watch him in his business conferences, whenever he's always posed a question about Chelsea, the management of Chelsea, the way he answers is usually from a very business point of view.
Okay.
Whereas when you see people like Roman, there is some sort of passion there. He talks about the fans. He talks about how he has a future that he wants to build. And Todd Boehly focuses a lot on this term, long-term project. So he long-term project all the way. But what long-term project is there? So his only few long-term projects that I foresee is he's going to buy players that his rival clubs want to buy.
Okay.
He wants to bring us back to the US for whatever publicity sake. And then also at the same time, he claims that he spends money. Well, yeah, we got a war chest, but the war chest, who's putting more input in it? That's what I want to know. But for how I see it, I don't see the manager having much say. Yeah, that's just what I'm saying.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to disagree with you.
Of course, sure.
Okay, this is where I'm going to disagree with you. Okay, so contrary to popular belief and contrary to popular opinion, I actually think that Todd Boehly will be a very good chairman in time to come. Okay. So why I say this, let's hear me out, right?
Yeah.
I know probably some of you are already wanting to punch me already, but hear me out. If you look back to 2003, when Roman first took over Chelsea, he was new to the football game, right? He had tons of money. He was buying players at left, right, center, like what Boehly is doing. So there's a lot of similar characteristics, right? Boehly himself is unfamiliar to the game. He's starting to learn the game. So what you said correctly was that he has money to spend.
That's right.
Yes. So we know for a fact that he is not stingy. And that is a very, very important point. I think what Boehly needs to do right now is to surround himself with the right people. And by right people, I mean footballing people. People who can help him to understand the game better. Understand the culture better, so that he can make the right decisions. I know he's someone that wants to be involved. I mean, he went to the dressing rooms, he talked to the players, and he's trying to be very, very hands-on. Right. But I think once he has a good team of footballing people around him, I think he will start to learn, and he will become like Roman, where he will start to learn and love the club and make the necessary changes. So we know for a fact that he's not afraid to spend, but so this is why I think there's two things that he needs to change. Number one, learn football. Number two, he needs to learn how to let go a little bit and let the manager take control. So I think in terms of what he needs to do next, right, is to really appoint long-term project. Yes, he has really give two players, like I think Enzo and Verdict, like 8-year contracts or something. I think he should do the same for a manager, the next manager, and allow this manager to stamp his authority and allow this manager to have the autonomy to decide on the transfers, to build his team so that Chelsea can become a force again. So this is my opinion. So I think Todd Boehly has the potential to become a model chairman, if you ask me. Really.
He can. All he has to do, sit at home, give money, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you the biggest difference. Now, you mentioned there are some similarities between him and Roman. Sure. Only similarity? They got money. I'll tell you why they're all different. When Roman came in 2003, Roman came in, just like what you said, no idea of the world of football, but he had friends who were in football. And these friends were playing for football. Shevchenko is one of them, and so on and forth, and the list goes on. Never mind. And then, this is where it gets a bit irritating. Now, Todd Boehly, he needs to surround himself with football people. Sure. But he has to stop making decisions for himself because, and this is what I agree, as a Chelsea fan, because he's a billionaire and he is a US citizen, they cannot tahan. They can't control themselves by people telling them no. And therefore, I think that's the biggest difference between him and Roman. Roman, on the other hand, is willing to listen. Why? Jose Mourinho was the biggest person he brought over, and this is why I'm going to help you end all this comparison.
Okay.
Jose Mourinho, he did not like Jose Mourinho, but when he had to, he brought him in. Ranieri couldn't do it. He said, you know what? We'll bring in someone that I hate, and he brought him in. Todd Boehly, on the other hand, I do not see him bringing him someone that he doesn't like. He has to bring someone that he likes, and I think that is going to be the biggest flaw. Because if the whole department of Chelsea says, we want him, and he says no, I got a feeling we won't get the person. Who is it that I can say is as if it's like Thomas Tuchel?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it, guys.
Yeah.
These were our thoughts about the Chelsea, what to do next, the good and bad of Chelsea. So I think that Todd Boehly will be a very good chairman in the future. Ben doesn't think so. So I don't know, what do you guys think? We are really, really curious to hear your thoughts on Chelsea. Where do you think they'll end up? Are they going to be relegated? I know there's some talk about that, but are they going to be a force to be reckoned with next season? So I want to hear your comments in the comment section. Alright, so that wraps up our segment of 19 minutes off. Thank you guys for listening, and we will be carrying on to the next segment called What's What and
Who's Who?
There you go. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to this segment called What's What with Who's Who. And now we are going to tell you something. You know, we've talked about all the Premier League clubs.
Yes.
And this is where we're going to focus on the other side of the globe. And we're going to go to Barcelona.
Yes.
You know why Barcelona? Because very recently, John sent me a clip of this player and I didn't watch it. But when I saw it, I said, holy cow.
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't. Only when you sent it to me, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then I went, holy cow. He is not 17, not 18, but 15 years old.
Goodness gracious me.
And how do you pronounce his name? Lamine Yamal? Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Holy cow. I mean, look at that. 15 years old, a young debutant, not just for any club, but Barcelona.
That's right.
And when you send me the clip, I mean, what a guy, man. The way he was dribbling, the way he was passing. And I think while I was watching it with you as well, when you sent it to me, what confidence from the teammates who were willing to send it to him, as what you said.
Confidence.
Yeah,
I think that's the key word about this guy. This guy is not afraid of anything.
No.
In fact, he almost
scored.
He almost scored.
He almost did.
And he did a wonderful lob to pass to Dembele.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys didn't watch it, go on YouTube,
Holy
watch. I
cow.
think this guy is the guy to watch
Yeah.
in the next few years. Lamine Yamal. This guy is
Unfortunately,
brilliant.
he like what he said, when you told me,
What?
he might be compared to Lionel Messi.
Because he's left-footed as well, is
Yeah.
it? Okay, maybe.
But then now we're going to talk about Lionel Messi.
Yes, so speaking of Messi, if you guys, again, if you're living under the rock, Messi has been suspended by PSG for at least 2 weeks. But I think he probably has played his last game for PSG.
Yeah.
And the reason for the suspension is because he made an unauthorized trip to Saudi Arabia. And if you look at the pictures online, he was actually enjoying himself with his family.
Oh, yeah, he did.
So, where is Messi going to end up next season? We have no idea.
No idea.
There are two rumors right now.
Yeah.
One, he's going back to Barca. And two, obviously, he might be joining Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to question, of all the places in
Of
the
all
world,
the places, I know.
why did he go to Saudi Arabia?
Maybe he likes the rivalry.
Maybe.
Some are saying the money, but I don't know
Or is
why.
it because he misses Ronaldo? We will never know. Okay.
You never know, yeah.
Yeah. So if Messi is suspended for 2 weeks, I think that's his season done already. Yeah.
It's not his loss anyway. So
Yeah, anyway. So moving on from Messi from the French league, let's move on to something very, very happy in the Italian league. You want to share what's this special occasion?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we've been saying it all the time for all our different episodes, but Napoli, there go
Finally.
Maradona's former club, finally wins the
Damn.
Serie A. Holy cow, Napoli.
Well done to Napoli. It's not Napoli lah.
Napoli. No,
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Napoli.
Our producer is shaking his head right now. But anyway,
Napoli.
they became champions after securing a 1-1 draw of Udinese. And who else but Victor Osimhen scored the goal that secured and clinched the title for Napoli. And fun fact, right? That goal made Victor Osimhen the highest scoring African in a single season in the Italian league.
Wow. Not just for Napoli, but also for...
Yes. So he has overtaken Samuel Eto'o as the highest scoring African in the Serie A. So now he's on 22 league goals right now.
That is something to celebrate. So congratulations. If we have any Napoli fans, well, wow. Congratulations to you.
Yes, so guys, that wraps up our segment of What's What and Who's Who, and of course, this is episode 8 of the 442
Dudes.
Now, don't forget to subscribe and like and share our videos.
Of course.
Oh, wait. You please comment as well.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Don't just text us. Okay, comment so that everybody can see, and then they can
and share the love.
Yes, we can have a lively discussion.
Of course.
Yes, there you go. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Ciao.
See you for episode 9.